What's up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez. I almost forgot my name. Your girl. And I'm sitting here next to my man,
Miguel Ramirez.
Oh, that's not my man. But hey, I can role play that. You know, we can do some role play tonight, baby. Is that what you want to do? What?
Yeah. I don't know what.
I'll be like cinnamon. What? I can be some cinnamon.
I can see that.
Put some cinnamon on you, boy.
So it's like, it's after 11 o'clock at night right now.
Yeah, I'm ready to party.
You're ready to party?
What? You see these shoes? Can they see these shoes?
No, they can't see the shoes.
Oh, you guys.
We have to be zoomed out. You got to pick your feet up more. Maybe. You're going to knock your beer over.
Nice.
But yeah, so we're getting ready to record this podcast and you're like, I got to go do my makeup. And I'm down here getting everything ready for the podcast. And then you come down like we're going clubbing. What happened?
We'll get into that a little later. Don't we want to first do what we got to do?
No,
if not, I can. I mean, no. I can start it.
No, you can. I
can.
It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
All right. So I go from a onesie to
to a rock star.
Like a rock star. Is that what I look like right now? I watched Grease last week.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did with Audrey.
Did you really?
You know, so I'm like, hey, if I didn't have to wear these funky things over my head, I'd have my hair down. You know?
Tú eres un desastre.
You are messing with my vibe.
Babe, last podcast, you were having...
My hair was funky. I looked at the last podcast, and I was like, what the hell? My hair...
What I'm saying is, last podcast, you started having trouble with the microphone. After 40 episodes, you start having trouble with the microphone. After 41 episodes, you start having trouble with the headphones.
No.
What the hell?
No. Hold up. I've had problems, and those that have been watching us from the beginning, I've complained about this on the very first podcast.
Anyway, so what's up?
I have really... nice hair.
You do. Your hair's beautiful.
And like this, I have to always wear it up because if I wear it down, it's just not going to look right. And again, it's messing up my vibe. So you need to buy me some headphones that are just wireless. Okay?
Okay.
So I can rock this. Okay?
All right.
Anyways, so, you know, our podcast is called Opposites Attract. You know? And when most people hear that, automatically they're thinking relationship. And I was sharing this with you, right?
I guess.
So I've been getting some comments, or yes, we had, you know, a friend of mine, and he's like, Sonja, he's like, you know, he asked me, he's like, hey, you know, what sells? You know, and he has a girlfriend, so it's not like he and Miguel knows him. He's our
oh yeah, we need to talk about that too.
Yeah. You know, he's our loan officer. He helped us purchase our house. Anyways, so I was talking to him about the podcast, and he was giving me all this good insight. And that's what I love, though. I love to listen. I love to hear from the listeners to really, you know, just be down and honest. He said we had great sex voices. He said radio voices. Yeah. He's like, you guys sound great. He's like, but I got to ask you something, Sonja. He's like, what's up with dressing, being fully covered?
He's like, what's up with your onesie?
From head to toe. Like, what's up with that? He's like, what sells? He's like, what sells? He's like, sex. Sex sells. And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, you got to loosen up. You know? Yeah. And so I talked to Miguel, and he's like, yeah, you should get on there and flop one titty out.
That's not what I said. Yeah.
I'm like, would you really? Is that you're going to sell me just for more listeners?
Hey,
and
we got to do what we got to do. I'm hustling out here.
What? You know? But I started to think, and I'm like, what is the one thing that couples complain about after years of being together? Once the honeymoon stage is over, what is it that they complain about?
No sex.
Like, it's dull. It's boring. Yeah.
You don't get any more helmet.
Whatever it may be, but you just get used to the person. You start to get lazy. You're not you're not putting in the effort that you once did. So how can we help our listeners to spice it up. Like you and I have been pretty good with that.
Should I just keep my finger on this?
No, stop. But what are some things that we've done? I mean, we're going to have to think back in order to keep it going, because even after we had kids, it got a little tough because, when they were babies, fine. Right now they're 8 and 10 and it's tough for us, right? Like today we had to, get rid of them. No, it was perfect timing because they both asked if they could go play.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I'll tell you, number one, when you're looking to purchase a home, you have to buy a home that has a separate, not separate floor plan, but what do they call it?
Where the bedrooms are separate from the master.
Right. Like our master bedroom is right across from Audrey's room.
Yeah.
And so we have to get creative at times.
Yeah.
In order for
I put a sock in your mouth
to make it happen. I put my fist in your face.
I put my fist in your mouth.
But no, for real, because that is a problem. And a lot of times when, it's not happening, the other couple or whatever, the other, tends to start looking outside or looking for attention or affection outside of their relationship. So, let's share some things that we've done. And I was thinking about this, like, what can we do? What can I do? And I started thinking back. And so I brought just some samples or examples.
You brought a bag that I have no idea what's in it.
That you can do. But even before this comes, like what I have, I'll pull it out. I mean, I'll pull it out.
I'm worried.
But before we even get there, he has no idea.
Shit.
Before we even get there.
I need something to write on because there was a sound effect that I was thinking about getting and I just thought of it. Shit.
Well, that's why I usually have a journal right next to me, and I didn't bring my journal. That's no bueno.
Yeah.
But I think too, and for us, like, and tell me if you agree, I think the longer we've been together, the more adventurous and more open and more
experimental.
Yes, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? Because we're more comfortable with each other.
Well, we've been comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and so, but again, so I would say, and help me here, but I would say number one is be able to openly talk to your partner.
Yeah.
To have that communication, respect, and no judgment.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very important. So start building on that, talk to each other and really just have a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Any other insight?
No, that's true. I mean, the thing is that we've communicated and we've been open like since the very beginning of our relationship. So I think
what do you mean?
It was kind
like
of
open.
I mean, one of, how do I say it? Like one of when we were first dating, one of the first places that we went on a date was like to a golf course, and
that's romantic.
It was romantic, but
it was new. Like it was new.
But it wasn't like in the bedroom missionary,
Right.
Like it's not just regular. It's like we were out somewhere.
Right.
Trying to get arrested. But
that's true. I guess we started off spontaneous.
Yeah, we've always been that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. I'm sure you don't want to be listening to this. You should probably apologize to your mom too.
She listens to this like on a regular basis. So you guys just, Mom, we're going to have to call them and say, listen, you cannot listen to episode 42.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. At the very beginning, we were both just fun.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, how do you get it?
If you start out,
it's all, yes.
If you start out that way and it goes away, how would you bring it back?
Okay. So, because that's happened with us. Like, I mean, we've always been into each other, but it's the time. It's the time because we're so busy. I was running 2 businesses at one time, at one point, volunteering.
You know what? I think the
everything.
Like if you have been adventurous, but you've kind of strayed away a little bit, I think the best thing would be go buy something new.
Right. Yeah. Go buy.
And don't go off the fucking deep end and get like a ball with a leather strap to put in your mouth. Like, don't do that.
No. But you can go, to I like fascinations. Like I like fascinations. It's a whole lot of fun. But, if you're not ready for role play, then maybe you could just go buy yourself a little, this is sexy.
A corset. I like the corset.
Yeah. And it's sexy. It's, sophisticated, and, you can throw on some,
You've worn that when you go out too.
I do. Yeah, I've worn it because you can. This is like, you could wear it for Christmas. I could throw a blazer over this.
Where the hell are you going for Christmas?
No, like you can. Baby, we went to a Christmas party with Legal Shield, and I had pictures with it wearing this, but I had a coat over it.
That reminds me of.
So it was sexy, sophisticated.
Do you remember when I was working at that one aviation company? And we went, like, I knew that I was leaving. It was right around Christmas time. And I knew that I was leaving to another company. Mm-hmm. And they had the Christmas party. And everybody's telling me, like, hey, all the executives are going to be at this Christmas party. It's an open bar.
Yes.
So it's a good opportunity to get to meet all the higher up leadership. And I was like, you have no idea. I was like, I'm out. I'm out like next month. So we went and we partied.
Had so much fun.
And the funny thing is that we were dancing all night, and there was like executives that are like, who the hell are these people? Like, we're all, one drink in each hand. Yeah. It was, and we had a good time.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun together. And then this one, do you remember this one, baby?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Super cute.
So yeah, some lingerie.
Yeah. Some lingerie.
That is a good place to start.
Yes. And
scratch the ball with the leather strap. Go for the lingerie.
That's not until like later. And not only that, but you can buy some kind of, licker.
Licking lotion.
Yes, that licking lotion, the juicy raspberry gel, and just like soak her up and go to work.
I haven't seen that shit in forever because we've graduated to different levels.
And go, like, make it a date, make it a date, go to Fascinations, get somebody to watch the kids and go together. And it is a little awkward. It's a little awkward at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you walk into this place and they have, everything that you can think of, from gadgets to gizmos to
what's like
blow up dolls, like just everything. But it's fun. Like,
I'm trying to think of some of the
laugh.
craziest shit that we've seen. That the last one that we went to, like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I think that one, they had some weird shit in that place.
Yeah, they did.
Not judging. Yeah. I mean, if you're into that, cool.
Yeah,
but
no, yeah.
There's fuck, man, that I can't remember exactly, but there was some it was big, and I'm like, you put that where?
You put that where?
Yeah. You're gonna put that where?
You haven't graduated up to there yet, babe.
Fuck no. Yeah, start with a pinky.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, go out, go have a nice dinner, and set it up. And for you women, throw on some heels. Like I have these really, you can't see them right now.
They're clear. They're like 4 inches.
They're not clear. Shut
I'm just
up.
Kidding.
Throw some heels on, and light some candles and put some music on. And, he'll be in the shower and there's times where he was in the shower and he had no idea what was going on. And he walked out and, I just surprised him with some stuff. But you have to become more creative. Like you have to become creative. And I think for a lot of couples, it's not that easy. And some people like it, and some people think that it's kind of odd, like talking to each other.
We're going to have to think about this a little bit to try and like really, I don't know. We'll probably have to sit down and actually talk about it. But like how to bring that in if it's gone. Like,
babe, it's just, I just
Well, yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
that's definitely a good idea. The
I mean, that's a
lingerie
good
is
surprise.
the
Like,
lingerie is
women-
a great place to
yeah,
start.
you know, and even if you don't want to go together and you just want to surprise him, you know, if you just want to surprise him, you know, drop the kids off, you know, get a babysitter and do this yourself. I mean, I've done that where I've just
Yeah.
surprised you. So, that's a good start as well. And
if you're a dude, you can go get those underwears with the little elephant in the front with the trunk.
that's not cute, but it's funny.
Yeah. I like to make you laugh.
And then you can also, there's other ways as well. Sometimes you can go out and if you really, and this, want to be spontaneous, you can go out and get just this,
That was your Christmas
like
gift.
a fancy, gadget.
Busting that out.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
like I really like it. And, that's something that you can use together.
Yeah.
And this is the Tracy's dog. Is that what they call this?
That's what
baby?
it's called.
Tracy's
We
dog.
got it on Amazon.
And
I'll put a link to
super
it.
amazing.
I'll put a link to it in the video.
Yeah, and there's also the Hitachi, which is my favorite, and I didn't bring that
That's
out.
the one. It's
The
a back massager.
But it's absolutely amazing. So if you're
Nice.
a man and you're watching this, you need to purchase that. You need to purchase that for her. Like I had no idea when you bought me that. Like I had,
I looked it up.
He surprised me with it. And
I looked it up.
yeah, and you would never know what it is. Like if the kids see it or to
No.
somehow find it,
No.
you wouldn't
The only
know,
way they would
'cause
know what
is
it
a
was-
massager. Like
the-
originally it was made.
No, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
But then the only way that you would know what it is if you smelled it.
You're stupid. I have a spray for that, you jerk off. Anyways, there's attachments to it as well. So anyways, it's all about spicing things up. Just spicing things up.
Jesus Christ,
And-
did you bring anything else?
No. But I just think that it's very important.
It is.
To be able to have fun with your significant other and feel comfortable with them. And it's all about taking baby steps too. Like if you're not into any toys, if you don't have any toys, that's going to be a little bit intimidating probably for you to even go that route,
Yeah.
So it's
No,
all
you
about
start with, I think, like you were saying, definitely the place to start is most likely the lingerie.
yeah.
I mean, you start with that and then do that a couple times and then, hey, you want to maybe you want to check out what they got at the store or whatever. And,
yeah.
then you go together and see what they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just having that conversation. Be like, hey, baby, I noticed that, it's been a while. And
But I think the lingerie is something that you really don't have to
You-
talk about too much. You can just kind of go
Right.
pick it up and then it's a surprise.
That's
and then
true.
from that, it evolves into something else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
That
because
reminds me-
then he'll be like, okay, I think she's, a little open. Because a lot of times the guys feel embarrassed or, what is she going to think of me or think about me if I, suggest this or suggest that.
And you know what? There's another thing that I've also heard of, but there's a lot of guys, and it sucks, but they feel like they're in competition with whatever they buy.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's a thing.
Really?
It's like, well, I don't want to buy that because,
he feels less
Yeah.
of a man.
and it's like, well, no, it's just we're having a good time. Like, I can't compete with the freaking back massager, but it's different.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's different. You know?
Yeah. Never even thought about that. But I
No,
guess
that is a
because
thing.
if you are purchasing a vibrator which gets inserted, then okay.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, but that's all about like just the foreplay.
But
and you know what?
I think it's just being confident enough, I guess,
Yeah.
or I don't know.
And I think a lot I know that with women it's more of a mental thing. We
Yeah.
are more like, if we're getting together and you think you're just going to stick your thing in me, like it's not going to work that way. Like
Yeah.
we need to be massaged. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm talking mentally, physically, they have both mentally and physically have to connect in order for the fireworks to go off.
We're about to turn off this podcast.
We take a little more work.
Yeah.
And with you guys, it's just it's pretty simple. Like,
Let's
you
go.
guys are very simple. You guys are very, just easy. You guys are easy.
We are very easy.
You guys are easy. You pop a boob and you're like, boing, boing.
Oh, shit.
But with women, it's more mental.
Yeah.
So that's something, men, that, you can look into. There's so much information out that, you can look into it. And
yeah, if
you really care, you'll put a little bit more work into it.
Yeah. No, but I think all that, it helps. It keeps the romantic life healthy.
Yeah.
When you can keep it exciting. And I think that's something that keeps it exciting.
Yeah. And at times we're all busy. We're all super busy. And you have to make time. Because, there's times where, we won't, be together. I feel like it's forever because I think I'm more active than you. And I'm just like, I get very frustrated. Yeah. Right? Like, like, I'm angry.
I'm like, come on, let's go.
Oh, you make it seem like,
no. I'm like, let's go. You need a attitude adjustment.
See, because your toys can only do so much too, right? Yeah. Because you'll be at work and I'll be like, hey, babe, sorry, but yeah. But they can only do so much. Yeah. You want that warm body, that tender touch, which the toy can't do that. Yeah. So you have to make time for each other. And that's so important because, like I said, we get so busy in life. We get so caught up in life that we put ourselves on the back burner. Yeah. And the kids are our main focus. And that's what happens in relationships, that disconnect with one another.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's something that we went through for a little while with the kids. And like our focus was like completely on the kids. And it's like the kids got this going on, the kids got that going on. You're working, I'm working. And then before you know it, our relationship or our romantic life got put on the back burner. Yeah. And it's stressful to the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. But too, that communication. Like I remember coming to you and expressing how I was feeling. Yeah. So if you have that communication down, like that is the foundation for a great marriage or relationship. It's just being able to talk to that person and share what you're feeling or what you're going through before it gets out of whack. Yeah. Yep. And I think that that's the one thing that well, we have many things, but that is what keeps us strong. Yeah.
We've mentioned this on the podcast a while back, but it reminds me of, you remember, well, I know you remember, but one of my best friends, Chris, when he came over the house and he walks into our bedroom, because we were out partying, and he's like a brother to me. And we're out partying and he comes over and he walks into our bedroom and he sees these two eyelets on the ceiling. And he's like, the fuck is that? And we've had so many people ask us, like, hey.
No, we haven't had many.
Well, no, it's not like everybody goes into our bedroom. But we've had a few people that come into our bedroom.
Everybody's coming into our bedroom.
Everybody's in our bedroom now.
It's like, now forget about it. Everybody is going to be in our bedroom.
But they'll be like, what is that for? And it's like, no, we hang plants from there.
I told my niece that.
That's what I told her. I don't remember. Somebody asked me, or I don't know if it was one of our nephews or who, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, I think it came with the house.
That was Nikki.
Was it?
You told that to Nikki.
I was like, I think it came with the house. Anyway, but he was like, let me see it. He's like,
oh, your friend.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Chris is like, let me see. He knew. And the thing is that it was less than half a second from the time that he crossed the doorway. The first thing he saw, he was like, what is that? He knew exactly what it was. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So what's so funny is that Nikki, she I guess she listened to the podcast where we mentioned it.
It was for a swing, by the way.
She's like, she was just laughing her ass off.
Really?
Yeah, because she remembers the time where, we told what we told her. You know, how does that go from one house to the other? Because this is our second home.
What the fuck? What kind of options do these houses come with?
Yeah, she's like, you need to paint those. She's like, you need to paint those white to match, the ceiling. But again, it's just, having, that open, being able to be open with each other and really talk about how you're feeling in order to open that door, and then just take it, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And make time for each other. Just make time for each other. And I know that it's hard to do at times, but you just have to do it, because there's going to be a day where, you get up and the children are moved out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have an empty nest.
Yeah.
And there's times where, a lot of times they feel as if they don't even know each other. Like, they lost that, because they were so focused on the children, and a lot of relationships end, because of that. Like, and their excuse is, we just grew apart. Well, why did you grow apart? You know what I'm saying?
That, you know what? There was somebody's house that I went to when I was working Legal Shield, and this guy said something that it kind of stuck with me from the time he said it. This was years ago.
Yeah.
But he was talking about his kids and his wife, and like, obviously kids are a big focus of people's relationship.
Yeah.
But he was like, eventually my kids are gonna move out. Mm-hmm. He's like, and then it's just gonna be me and my wife. Mm-hmm. So
there we go.
As for a lot of people, it's like the kids come first.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he's like, I married my wife, and without my wife, there are no kids. And when the kids are gone, I'll be with my wife. Mm-hmm. He's like, so my wife comes first,
right? And
then the kids. I mean, they're a very, very, very close second, but my wife comes first,
right?
Right. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah. And
it's not like you don't love your kids or anything, but.
And that's something that Miguel and I was having an issue with, because this is getting deep now. What?
Is that a punching bag, or what are you?
What? The mic.
Yeah.
As our previous podcast, we were talking about like how all you wanted was a family.
Yeah.
So when, Miguel is a remarkable dad, and, there was a time where your focus was 100% on the kids, and I was starting to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was, able, and I felt so bad though. I
started to feel,
I started to feel guilty. I started to feel bad. And it took me a long time to actually bring it to your attention. And I think when I did bring it to your attention, you were like you didn't understand. And I don't know what got you to finally open up and listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, over time, I guess it just, it took a while for me to get it.
Because how did you feel when I first talked to you about it?
I don't even remember. I mean, I do remember you talking to me.
It was here in this house.
I do remember.
It wasn't that long ago. We've been in this house for 3 years. I think it was the first year when we moved into this house.
You know what? I think it was one of those things like, well, yeah, I think you're right. And we got to...
say that again?
No. You're only getting one. No, I do feel like I was like, well, you know what? You have a point. And I do need to work on that.
And he did.
Yeah.
So kids are in bed, because that was the thing too. Like, you would always like them to sleep with us all the time.
Yeah.
I
still do.
Yeah, we do.
But not all the time.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But back then it was like all the time.
Yeah.
And that's a big no-no too, because I know there's parents out there, they have that's a situation, that's a problem. I hear about that all the time.
Once they get older. Yeah, once they get older, they got to start sleeping in their beds.
Yeah. So anyways, enough of that. I just wanted to reach out. This is we do, talk about
we talk about all kinds
situations
of
in
stuff.
relationship and stuff. But I was just thinking, this is called opposites attract. And I was thinking, what is a problem that, a lot of couples have? And that's something that I came out with. So that's why I decided to, bring the cat girl out.
Before we started the podcast, we were talking about like what kind of podcast do we have? Like we kind of know, and you guys that listen to the podcast, you guys know what kind of podcast this is. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Right. We talk about business, we talk about, military stuff, we talk about parenting, we talk about jiu-jitsu, we talk about all kinds of stuff. And, like you were saying, like there's a lot of podcasts that are specific to specific things, but then I was mentioning to you that there are a lot of podcasters out there that they don't have a specific thing. They talk about pretty much their life, kind of like we do. They talk about all kinds of stuff. And one thing that we were kind of curious and we thought it'd be kind of cool, like if for those of you guys that are listening, if you guys can give us a call or, send us a message, look up the number, please. If you guys can give us a call or send us a message, and like if you were to explain this podcast to somebody else, like if you were going to share this, what would you say how would you tell somebody about this podcast? Like, what is this podcast about?
That'd be tough, I think, with everything we talk about. I don't know, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be interesting to see what people would say.
Yeah, it would be. So that phone number, you can either leave a message or even, call in.
Well, for this, you would leave a message.
Okay, so you can leave a message. The phone number is 480-912-5128. Again, that's 480-912-5128.
5128.
Oh, yes. Holy crap, babe. Okay. 480-912-5128.
There you go.
All right. There you go. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to get some feedback and see, what you all say, because we do talk about a lot of things.
Yep. And another thing that I wanted to mention is, thank you to all you guys that listen to the podcast. Back in New York, when I was growing up, we had, like when an album would release of a rapper, there was this thing called street teams. And they would have flyers, they would have stickers, and like I don't know if it was maybe part of the radio station, like to promote albums that were coming out or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they would have, it was a team, and they would have their T-shirts, they would have backpacks full of shit, and they would be out in the street just handing out stuff.
Yeah.
So recently, we talked about how we have all these flyers, and I reached out to a couple people, and I really want to thank them, for helping me out. My two little brothers, Alan and George, they're, Alan's in Florida and George is in New York.
Yep. And
we're going to send them a pack of flyers so that they can give them out wherever they're at.
We're going to put them to work.
And then also my best friend Stevens in Florida, when he heard the podcast that we talked about getting the flyers, he sent me a text. He's like, hey, send me flyers.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to send them out to him.
That's awesome.
So thank you guys.
Good
we appreciate
stuff.
it. We love you guys.
Yeah.
So
on the way out, I was feeling all sexy, right?
Yeah.
And then I look at my toe.
Your toes are jacked.
Do you see that?
You got a big old chip.
It's my big toe.
What's wrong with it?
You see it? I don't know. That's weird. Like the gel, and it's almost a perfect circle. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, how cute. No, I'm not. Have you experienced that before? Checking out before me. No. Checking out somebody and
that's
they're
not
like,
something I'm into.
So cute.
I'm not
she
into feet.
Beat up.
But you know what?
But I'm not into feet.
I'm
but
not
if
into
they look
feet.
Funky,
but if you got some busted ass feet, that's a different story.
That's worse, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
so I may not be into feet, but if you got some,
hey, she's cute.
If she have feet like mine, I'm out. where the second toe is hanging off the end of the flip flop.
You've only sucked my toes like once or twice.
Yeah. We gonna get back into this shit again?
I'm just saying, Now I get it.
So yesterday we went to a jiu-jitsu event. It wasn't a tournament. Mm-hmm. It was it was called Fight to Win.
Yeah.
And if any of our people from our gym are listening, we wanted to say congratulations to all the people that competed at this Fight to Win. It was really cool.
That was an awesome event.
It was a really cool event. It wasn't a jiu-jitsu tournament because a jiu-jitsu tournament, it's like brackets and eliminations and that sort of thing. This was like going to a fight.
fight.
It's like going to a fight.
Yes.
You have, competitors that are going against each other, and it's just one match.
Yeah.
And I think it's a different level. I mean, these guys are a different level. Like you're more of a professional at that point.
Yeah, like you're more experienced.
Yeah. I mean, you're walking out to the stage, they have your music playing, they got the lights, they have the smoke. So it's like,
that's super scary. Like when I saw, because I mean, when I was doing jiu-jitsu with Miguel, and I really enjoyed it, I don't know, I'm like a bit conflicted. Like, do I want to go back? Like, do I want, it's not, I don't know. I just hear everybody and their knees and their back. And that's what happened when I went in. Like, my sciatica kicked in really bad. And that's why I ended up giving up, Yeah. And, but I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoy beating your ass sometimes. No, even at home. No.
Yeah, you still
he
like
lets me. I do. I'm rough.
Yeah,
I'm a rough girl.
You'll jump on me when we're at home and freaking try to do. You've done like 3 moves. You've tried out 3 moves in class, and then you try them out on me at home. Like you'll sneak up on me and try to freaking do something.
But hey, yesterday when we were at the fight, dude, I was calling out moves.
Yeah, you were.
Right?
That was actually pretty surprising.
Yeah, so I'm watching. I'm just waiting. So when the time is, it's time to go back, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Did you do a class where they did a Kimura?
I don't remember, baby.
But you knew what it was.
Yeah.
Like when you were watching, that was pretty surprising. I was like, I don't remember if she did a Kimura in class or not.
Yeah, I don't know. But I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of
I
fun.
forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
About us practicing. Oh, so it's very vulnerable as a woman because, when you're used to like being out, like with what I do for a living, you're used to, being dressed up, having the whole makeup, your hair done. And, the only time now I look busted a little more, but I was going to say the only time I really look busted is like when I go to the gym and then I come back, but there it's like, it's very vulnerable, you're in people. I mean, you're sweating, you're working, your parts are in people's faces. Like it's
yeah,
it's very humbling.
All right.
Like
this is like some real deal jiu-jitsu stuff here. For those of you that do jiu-jitsu that listen to this podcast, there's times when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and you're in a certain position.
Yeah.
And guys, we have additional parts. So sometimes like something will squirt out the side, like one of your not like literally squirt like out of your. I'm just saying like you'll be in a tight spot and like one of your balls will be stuck. And then it just like boop pops out, and I was like, I wonder if they felt that. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
But it's freaking funny as shit. Like I'm like, I don't know if they,
Yeah, but all the competing, and it's very humbling. And I was just thinking, like, competing with, I don't know how to even describe it, but when you competed, there were several individuals fighting at once.
Yeah, there was like 12 mats.
So that's intimidating. But again, the spotlight is not only on you. Like there's multiple people fighting.
No, this fight to win was one stage, spotlights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was just like imagining.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight. It is a fight. And they have like there's announcers, like they're calling the people up to the mat, and
yeah. And I just thought to myself, man, I don't know if I would. Like, it would be cool, but that's not something I would, it's just, I
was thinking about it yesterday. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Really?
Hell yeah.
And it's funny but I said the same thing about speaking in front of people, presentations.
Yeah.
And now I get nervous, but it excites me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but man, congratulations to
everybody that competed yesterday. Yeah. It was awesome.
It takes a lot of guts,
really cool. Yeah.
To get up there and do your deal,
Yep.
So very cool.
Yeah. So the other day, I went to the supermarket and I was trying to buy some beer. And this isn't the first time that this has happened to me, but I was trying to buy some beer, and it was kind of like it was one of those things that was like a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't going to the store for beer. I was going for something else. And like before I ran out of the house, like I grabbed my keys and I had my phone in my pocket, but I didn't have my wallet. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, I can pay with my phone. So I really don't need my wallet. The store is like right there.
Yeah.
I've paid with my phone, 100 times already. So I know it's fine. So I run to the store, and then while I'm at the store, I decide, you know what? Why don't I grab some beer? So I go to grab the beer, and of course, I get carded.
Yeah.
And I'm there with Joey, and I tell the lady, I'm like, oh, you know what? I forgot my wallet.
Right.
I don't have my ID.
She's like, nice one.
She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't sell you the beer. And I know it's on me for not bringing my wallet.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, it bugs the shit out of me. Like, I told the lady,
They're just doing
I was
their
like,
job, though.
I understand. But I think it's one of the problems that we have in this country. It's something that's so simple, but people don't have common sense anymore.
Hey, baby. It has nothing to do with common sense.
Really?
It has to do with the law. They have to.
The law is that you have to be 21 to buy beer or alcohol.
But
and I have an 8-year-old. I have an 8-year-old son with. I'm just saying. I have an 8-year-old son with me. I have a bunch of freaking gray hair, especially when my hair grows out. It's like, you can freaking tell I'm not 21. Okay, maybe I'm not 50, but I'm damn sure not 21. I have a freaking 8-year-old kid with me.
I don't know.
You know what I
There's
mean?
Yeah.
So that freaking bugged the shit out of me, and it really. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna take it out on this lady because it's not her fault. But then she tells me, she's like, it's gonna be the same for cigarettes too now. And I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's everywhere in the country, but now you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes, or it's coming soon.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
That's good. Cigarettes are bad for you. So is drinking, but
the first thing that I think of, and I'm sure a lot of people out there think of the same thing. I joined the military when I was 17.
Here it comes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I signed up to go into the I swore in and signed my paperwork when I was 17. How was that?
Yeah.
How was that? Like, you could be dead by 21.
Yeah.
And that happens. That happens a lot. I mean, maybe not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot.
A lot. That happens a lot.
Shouldn't say a lot, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
Maybe you should make the age of people joining the military 21.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think that it's right. I don't think it's fair. Or maybe they should make an exception for people that join the military.
That kind of pissed you off, huh?
It did. And I think that's one of the when in this country, when it comes to drinking, like, it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
Like when kids go to college or when they join the military. I mean, I had a lot of trouble because of alcohol in the military. Because I used to party all the time, and I got in a shit ton of trouble. But
I'm so glad you did all that, though.
Yeah.
Because you're
But the thing is,
you're an old soul now.
I think the reason that happens is because it's such a thing. Like, oh, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Where, like, in Europe, it's nothing. Like, you're drinking from the time you're younger.
What you're saying. Yeah.
You might be 14, 15, and you have wine with your dinner.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal. And when they turn 21, they're not getting fucking hammered all the time.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different culture.
It's different. Do you feel better? Woosah, woosah.
You suck.
I do.
You suck. So anyway, you know what? We were talking about the fight to win, and so I took off from you for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I had a stack of flyers in the car.
He was making it rain.
I was like, hold up. I was like, our teammates have already competed,
right?
And the main event's not starting yet. So I'm gonna take this opportunity because it was packed with cars all over the damn place.
It was insane.
So I went and I grabbed all the flyers that we had in the car, and I started sticking them on all the cars. And I was just kind of like, and it was cool. It was like, I haven't done that in forever. My dad, when he used to throw parties in New York, like, he used to throw some big time parties. And like he would print out 10,000 flyers and then we
Yeah.
would go out and hand out all these flyers.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, I said like we have goals.
Yeah.
And I said that there's things that we want to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say something or you could do something.
Yep.
And I'm not just going to sit around and say, I want this and I want that. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was part of.
And I like what you had mentioned. I don't see it on your list, but you're talking about social media versus, doing the old fashioned way, which is passing out flyers.
Yep.
And
I did say
that's
that.
something that no one could take from you. Like if we, like last week, I was apologizing for, and I don't even want to say it because I don't want this to get blocked, but if there's certain triggers or certain words that are said, you'll get blocked from YouTube. And I don't know if it works with Instagram or.
It's with everything. It's with everything. The thing is that as long as you're relying on somebody else, on another company, and I mean, I think where we upload the podcast, there is no censorship. Like you can upload whatever you want. It could be freaking insane, but there is no censorship. Now, I'm talking about the audio version of the podcast.
Yeah.
Now, the video version, we're relying on YouTube, and I'm sure if you guys do any research on YouTube, it's getting more and more strict on what they're allowing, what they're not allowing. Like you have to be careful what to say. You may not even get to watch this video because we already said too much.
Really?
The last video might get censored, but actually that's the reason why we started posting videos on Facebook also, because we had a video that got blocked on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the most tame podcasts that we had, but it got flagged and it wasn't uploaded. So if somebody wanted to watch the podcast, they couldn't watch that one.
Right.
And we're relying on these big companies to put our stuff out. And if they decide that they don't like what we're doing, then we don't get to put it out. Or if they don't like our post, or if they just decide to block us altogether, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
But like I was telling you with the flyers, you can't stop me.
Yeah.
You just can't. Because I'll print out another 5,000 and then another 5,000 and then 10,000 and I'll ship them out across the country.
Yeah.
And we'll hand them all out.
See, and that's where, like, I don't know, like, people get to see the fun. You bring not that you bring, I've always been a fun person, but with the businesses, I've always been, and I always have been, because even before I worked at a law firm, so I've always dressed professionally, except for when you and I go out, right?
Yeah.
But even when we go out, it's more of a sexy, sophisticated.
Yeah.
And the certain people that I work with and doing this podcast and like the one today, it's kind of a bit, I don't know, it's just open, like it's a relationship podcast and with other things, but this is
our dirtiest podcast.
It's not dirty. It's just, and that's the thing. Like, I want to be open and honest, and I want to help people, in relationships, but I also want to help people in, when it comes to other topics that are more, on a serious level. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want, like, if I have someone who, like I was talking to your Thea earlier, and she works for a school and, she sees some of our podcasts and she's like, oh my God, you guys are so good together. You guys work very well together.
Thank you.
But if I were to, because I said, you know what, maybe you can get on the podcast and talk a bit about, because we were talking about education and stuff like that. But she said, well, the people I work with, they're very conservative.
She's like, I think I'm going to pass.
And I just wouldn't be able to be tagged, on your podcast, and I can understand that. And so that's where I'm a bit conflicted because, I am fun, but I am spiritual, I am, professional. Like there's many different aspects of my personality. And so I don't want the fun part of me to take Do you know what I'm saying?
You know why that Kevin Hart show was so good?
Because it was the real Kevin Hart. Like, he was very vulnerable about everything that he's gone through.
It was real. It was who he is.
Yes.
And he wasn't hiding this, or it was just like, this is me.
Yeah. But too, like, you know, we're talking about things that most people are like, you know, you shouldn't be, you know, talking about what happens behind closed doors, like our relationship, because it can attract negative. You know
that
what
may
I'm saying?
be
Like,
true for you, but that's not
energy,
true for us.
you know? And so, I don't know. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot to it. But I just hope that, you know, it just, you know, I don't know, doesn't scare some of our
we're good
guests that were, you know,
yeah,
because we are
and
going to have multimillionaires on here,
and if it
authors,
does,
like we have a pretty good lineup that we're working on for this year for a guest, and so,
and if it does, then, you know, I'm sure there's other people that would like to be on the podcast that don't have an issue with that.
Yeah,
that's just part of the business, part of work, what we're doing.
Yeah, and we're new, and I think that right now we have a very wide range of topics that we talk about, but I think once we get to know who our audience is and what we're great at and what people want to hear or you know, learn about, I think that we may narrow it down some. But I think right now, I mean, we've only been doing this, we have 42
8
this
months,
is
9 months,
you know, so we're very new,
yeah,
you know,
we're
and
good.
So yeah, we'll figure
don't worry
it
about
out.
it. What are you so worried about?
I'm just talking.
We're good.
Like, I'm just sharing what I'm feeling. You know,
so we were talking about the social media. Oh man, this really. Actually, the flyers is something that, I mean, that's kind of motivated me, really, because like I said, they can't stop that.
Yeah.
But like the Instagram, like sometimes I wonder if we're being blocked, or if for some reason our posts aren't showing up for people, or like there's a thing called shadow banning when they ban your stuff. Now I don't think we're big enough to the point where they're gonna ban us because they don't want people to see our stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I doubt it. But one thing that I do know is that they do want to sell us advertising. So that is a reason, like if they can tell that we're trying to promote something, that we're trying to grow something, that they block it to make you have to pay for it to get it out so that you can get more traction. Yeah. You know, because we put a post on Instagram. For those of you that didn't watch, that haven't seen the video where Sonja talks about how to lower the interest rate on your credit cards and on your cars. Like, that is something that you got to check out. That is something that's important.
Thank you, babe. It is.
No, for real.
Yeah.
That is something that is very important. You know, if you want to get out of debt, I mean, nobody wants to, you know, be making other people rich their whole life.
Right.
And that is something that you talked about that helped us out. And we've done it. We have personal experience with that. So you got to go check that out. But we put that post up, and it got zero traction.
Isn't
fucking
that crazy?
Nothing.
I wonder why, though. Like,
and
it's just so odd.
I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is an action.
That's
this
what
is
people
actually
need to hear.
Exactly. Like, this is something that is really good. Out of all the videos and the clips that we've made, this is something that's important.
Yes.
And then the very next post, I put up a post of our dog.
Yeah.
Of our dog.
And she is cute.
She is cute.
She's cute.
She's a cute dog.
Yeah.
And that fucking thing in seconds starts fucking blowing up.
Yeah.
I tagged the other video with, like, you know, hustle hard, debt free, and all this other shit. Yeah. And then the other one I tagged it with, like, puppy and fucking I love puppies and you know, all this other shit.
Babies.
And that fucking thing took off. And I'm just like, what the hell? So, like, we could post a picture of our kids. Nobody gives a shit.
They get
except for my mom and a couple other people. And
my mom.
You post a picture of a dog, and everybody and their mother
that.
freaking starts liking it.
Yeah.
It's freaking insane.
So why don't we switch the podcast to
So that's
Puppies
it.
Are Us?
So from now on, we're just posting pictures of puppies.
But maybe we should stop talking about.
So if you guys have puppies, send us pictures of your puppies, and we'll post pictures of them.
Yes. Maybe we should just stop talking about the whole social media name dropping.
You know what? Yeah.
You know what? No, for real, because that's probably why. And maybe it's all the F words you say.
fuck it. You know what?
Oh my God.
Truth
and,
is,
by the way, your godmother said that's one of the reasons too, baby.
I'm sorry.
You know?
I'm sorry that yeah.
Because you don't cuss a lot. Like he doesn't. Like,
well,
because that's something that what?
It's different.
Yeah, but even around me, it's at work when you're cussing a lot. But I mean, you don't cuss all the time.
Well, I'm with you a lot of the time, and I know you don't like it, and I'm not gonna cuss all the time around the kids, so I tone it down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So, there's some stuff that's been going down in the country lately. And it's some serious shit.
We're really gonna add that to this podcast right now.
Yeah, I mean,
we started off.
You know what? This is the
how
thing
to spice it up in the bedroom, and we're gonna end it with politics.
No. That's one thing that I don't really get into too much, politics. I mean, I guess I will right now, but the thing is, I listen to a bunch of different podcasts, and I was telling you that a lot of times, not that I get my news from the podcast, but I'll hear something that's happening in the news, and then I look up to find out, like, oh shit, like what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, so recently there's been a whole bunch of stuff that's happening.
Like I'm slouching
with Iran, and so what happened was, from what I understand, and I may be wrong, oftentimes I'm wrong, but
wait, what? Say that again.
I'm just saying, like, I may be wrong on what I heard or what I looked up. You guys can look it up for yourselves. But there was something that happened at an embassy, where one of the U.S. embassies in Iraq, and it was, I don't know if it was attacked or something happened, but pretty much some of our troops were attacked. Like, we lost an American contractor that was killed. And it was, the people that did it were backed by Iran. Like, it was funded, or they were supported by Iran.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, our government and the president, they were looking for somebody or whatever. Like, there's the top general from Iran. He's a bad dude. Like, killed a lot of people. He supported people that are bad people.
Yeah.
Made a lot of shit happen. So our government went after him and killed him. So now Iran had to respond and do something to kind of show that they're not just going to sit back and do nothing. Yeah. So they launched off a bunch of missiles at U.S. bases in Iraq, and accidentally shot down an airliner. They shot down a 737 that was going to Ukraine, because I don't know if they thought that it was an American jet that was flying over or whatever. Yeah. But man, there's like, just the other day they were saying that China and Iran were doing like practice mission, like their navies were doing practice missions in the ocean, or something like that. Like, there's two countries, I think it was Iran and China, but they were doing practice missions in the ocean. Like if they go to war, they're going to be communicating together, they're going to be working together, so they were practicing. And then recently, just I think today, because we're recording this a few days from the time that you guys will hear it, but a Russian warship like pulled up on a U.S. warship. And there's like some serious like the shit that's happening around the world is fucking insane. Like, you guys go look it up for yourselves. But I try to be pretty reasonable about stuff. Like, I try to see different sides of people's arguments. And when you have countries that are this big, there's a lot of people that feel a certain way about the Second Amendment. Like, you shouldn't have guns, or you shouldn't have the capability, like certain capabilities or whatever. Some people don't really understand, or they say like the Second Amendment is not really, like, it doesn't really apply today, because what the Second Amendment was for, like when the country was first founded, was because they were coming from a government that was overreaching. And they were saying, like, the people should have the ability to bear arms, to have weapons, to defend themselves, and to take the country back if the government gets corrupt. That's what the point of the Second Amendment was. Now, we have a modern society and a modern government, and people are like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're going to stop the U.S. military with your rifles, with your AR-15. Now this is definitely getting banned. With with your rifles and your
fired,
your handguns or whatever. But like, you really think you're going to do something against a tank or against a fighter jet.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's not only for that. If you look at what's happening in the world right now, if our government was to do something crazy that started something major with Russia, with China, with Iran, one of the reasons that they will not come over here is because they know that there's 4 guns to every person that lives in the United States. Like, they won't come here. Yeah. Because guess what happens if you come here? Every person on this block is going to pull out their rifles and their ammunition, and we're all going to defend ourselves.
Right.
And that is another point of the Second Amendment that a lot of people don't really think about. I mean, it's not just to defend yourself. And, you know, to tell you the truth, for a while, I used to, like, I like guns. I have some guns. And I did think, I was like, you know what? Why, you know, I understand why you would have a handgun. But really, why would you need an AR-15? I mean,
just said it again.
Whatever. It's already done. But what I'm saying is, like, why would you need a gun like that? Like, it's not really good for hunting. You know, if you're gonna go hunting, you're gonna need a bigger round, bigger caliber, most likely. And so what is the purpose? Like, just to have fun? Like, maybe you shouldn't have that. But then somebody brought to the attention, like, what if 2 people break into your house and they both have guns? What if they have the same gun that you have? Both of them. Mm-hmm. Do you want to have the same firepower that they have, or do you want to have an advantage? And if I'm defending my family, I definitely want to have an advantage. Like, I do want a rifle with 30 rounds or 40 rounds or whatever. I want the ability to be able to shoot faster and, you know, less recoil, because that rifle, the AR-15, is just like, it's super easy to, I mean, you shot it in the desert and took the head off a Barbie doll. You know what I mean? So there's reasons for it. Now, there's some things that maybe, you know, it's just not really practical, or it's kind of dangerous, and I get it. But, you know, there's reasons why we have the Second Amendment. And you guys may feel differently from that. And if you do, let us know. I mean, I'm always...
It's okay. I mean, we're just... You're just expressing
what do you,
how
I mean,
you
what do
feel,
you think?
So, you know, no, I'm...
I mean, I know you're not into guns.
Yeah.
But you're not against them either.
No. Yeah. No. You know, I'm pro. I'm pro.
You're a gun nut? You're a crazy gun nut? You fucking righty.
I'm gonna kick you in my shit with
no,
my heel.
And you know what? There's one thing that, like, I think it's like everything else. Like we were talking about with the alcohol. I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and I've told our kids, like, this is something that you shouldn't be afraid of. They should understand what it is. They should understand exactly what it is. Like, it is not a toy. It is not something that you play with. And, like, I've told the kids, if you want to see the guns, if you want to hold them, let me know. I'll pull them out of the safe. I'll unload them. You can hold them. You can look at them. You can, you know, do whatever, obviously within reason. I mean, I'm not going to put rounds in it or whatever, but you can look at them. You can hold them. You can look down the sights.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to be afraid of it. But I want them to understand, like, if they've never, if I hide them from them,
yes,
and they go to somebody's house and they see a gun, they're going to be like, wow, I've seen these in the movies, because shit, the movies glorify the shit out of guns.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
So I want them to understand what they are, not to be curious. Oh yeah, you know, my dad lets me hold his gun when I want. But if you see it, like I tell them, if you see a gun, you get out of there and get the kids out of there and go straight to an adult and let them know what's going on, and or come home, tell me what's going on, but do not touch it at all.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yep. Yeah. So did you mention about the iHeartRadio? I don't recall if you did.
Well, I mentioned it on the last podcast. For those of you that listen to iHeartRadio, our podcast is finally on iHeartRadio, because that I don't know what the deal was. Like, I tried to get it on iHeartRadio when we first started the podcast, but it never got up there. So maybe we needed the podcasting history for them to see that we've done
Are they
a bunch
pretty
of
big? Or I mean, I don't
know. I've heard some people tell me that they listen to iHeartRadio. Like they'll pull it up on their computer at work or they download the app. So yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, very good.
So you got anything else before we get out of here, babe?
Yep.
We're good to go.
We are good to go.
Well, thank you guys for being with us.
Yes.
This is an extra bonus episode for the month.
Yes.
So
Miguel's on a roll. He's kicking butt.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Not playing with this thing.
He's like on it.
Yeah. Nonstop. So anyway, but we couldn't do this without you guys. We appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you guys.
We will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.